this video on strings in Python. If you haven't watched the previous video on variables in Python, please check the link in the description. The topics we will be covering in this session are string representation, string indexing, string slicing, string operators, and functions that can be performed on strings. Let us start with what is a string. A string is a sequence of characters which can be represented under double quotes or it can be represented under single quotes. If I have a variable my string and I want to put the word fruit inside this variable my string, I can use double quotes or I can use single quotes. Now why do I have an option of single quote as well as double quote? This is because if I have a string which has a single quote within the word itself, for example, now the variable my string has the word birthday within it and the word birthday has a single quote. Now if I use single quote in order to represent this word, what happens is Python will look at my first single quote and then it will look at capital B and then it will look at my next single quote and then it will assume that this is the only string. In fact, if you execute this, it will show you an error. Alright, so let's see why we need single quote and why we need double quote. If I have the string birthday as I told you earlier, and if I put it under single quotes, it says that it's an invalid syntax. Also, you can see that only B is highlighted as green, the rest are not. This is birthday, but it's inside double quotes. Now this is valid. Okay, so this is why we have an option for using double quotes as well as single quotes. We know that string is a sequence of characters. A sequence is anything that follows an order. So you can have a sequence of events, you can have a sequence of numbers. Similarly, a string is a sequence of characters. Here, my string is a variable which has the word fruit in it. And we can see that this is an ordered sequence. Like first you have the letter F, the second letter is R, the third letter is U, and so on. If I swap the positions of R and F, then it no longer is the same string. So in order to have a string, you need to have an ordered sequence. Each of the characters in the string has a particular location. Python, we start this indexing from 0. So F is 0, R is in the first location, U is in the second location, and then T will be in the fourth location. So FRUIT, it has a length of 5 characters, but the positioning will start from 0 to 4, which is basically 0 to length minus 1. So this method of indexing is called as forward indexing. We have something called backward indexing, where your indexing starts from the last character. So here T will be given the index minus 1, I will be given the index minus 2, and U will be given the index minus 3, and like that F will be given the index minus 5. Why do we have backward indexing? Backward indexing makes it easier for us to access the last characters of a string, especially when you do not know the string length. Now let us look at how to extract characters from a string. Say I have the variable my string which has the string hi, this is Python. If I want to extract the first character H, what I should do is I should write the variable name. Then I should put square brackets. Within these square brackets, I have to write the position of this letter H that I want to display. This letter H that I want to display is in the 0th index. As you know, indexing starts from 0 in Python. When I press enter, I get the letter H. If I want to print my string of 3, I will get T. Remember that blank space is also a part of the string. Now if I print my string of 2, I will get a blank space. So this is basically blank. Now let us look at backward indexing. I don't know the length of the string and I don't want to count the length of the string. It is too difficult for me. But I want to print the last character of the string. So how will I do that? I'll say my string, open square and close square brackets. In between these square brackets, I will put minus 1. So it will show exclamation, which is the last character of the string. If I want to print the second last character of the string, I just have to do my string of minus 2. So this is forward indexing and backward indexing in Python. Let us look at string slicing. What is string slicing? Slice means a part of something. Like we'd say
I need a slice of an apple. So like that, I need a slice of a string, means I need a part of a string, or I need a subsection of a string. Now the syntax for string slicing is this. First you need to specify the start index, then you need to specify your stop index and the step. So what is the start index? The index from where you will start your slice. And the stop index, what is the stop index? Till where you want your slice to be. So your result will not include the character that is in the stop index. Okay, so it's only till there, but it's not including the stop index. Step is how many steps you have to take. Now I'll show an example. The variable myString has letters from A to H. I only want to display C, D, E and F. So how do I do that? First write the name of your variable, square brackets. Now A is in the 0th position, B is in the 1st position, C is in the 2nd position. So your start index would be 2. Then I want to print till F. So D is your 3rd position, E is your 4th position, F is your 5th position. I want to print F as well. So 2 to 6, which means it is from the 2nd position till 6 but not including 6. Okay. And the step is default 1. Basically it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and a slice means I'm starting here, which is the 2nd position. I'm starting the slice here and then I'm ending it here. So this is my slice. Okay. What if I want to print the letters C and E? That is, I want to take a step of 2, but then I don't want D and F and all that. So all I have to do is I have to just go and change this 1 to 2. So what happens? It'll look at C first. So 2, then plus 2, it will look at the E. Okay, so the answer that will be displayed will be CE.
Let us try a few more examples in string slicing. So if I have a string, my string, which is amazing, I want to print the whole string by string slicing itself. How will I do that? I just have to say from start index 0, and amazing has A, which is 0, M is 1, A is 2, Z is 3, I is 4, N is 5, G is 6. So if I want to include G as well, then I have to put 6 plus 1, 7, and then okay, so step is by default 1. If I want I can enter it, if we don't want to enter it, it's alright, and it gives me amazing. Okay, now what if I only want to print the first 3 letters in the string? So because it's the first 3 letters, so I should definitely start from 0, and then I have to print 0th character, first character and second character. So that means I'll go till 3. Yeah, and this will give me AMA, which are the first three characters in the string. Okay, I want to print from the character in position 2. So that is, I want to print AZI. How will I do that? Starting index is 2 and the ending index is 2, 3, 4. So 5, and now I will get AZI. What if I print from minus 5 to minus 1? So over here, what is minus 5? G is minus 1, N is minus 2, I is minus 3, Z is minus 4, A is minus 5. So it should be printing AZIN. Let us see this. Yeah, so it prints AZIN because the start index is minus 5, which is actually A, and then ZIN. So G will be minus 1. So it will print AZIN. So we can use forward indexing or backward indexing for string slicing, or starting right from the beginning of the string. You just want to control your stop index. You don't have to specify your start index all the time. Like the first example where I showed the first 3 letters in the string, I don't have to specify 0 as my start index. I can just do this, and it will still show me the first three letters in the string. Suppose if I want to put the last three characters in the string, I can do this. So it gives me I, N and G. Let us try more things with the step. So if I do my string of but 2, so what happens? So I'll first print A, then skip M and then go to the next A, skip Z and go to I, skip N and go to G. So it is taking a step of 2. What if I try step of -1? So this is a really good way to give the reverse of the string. All I have to do is I don't have to specify start index, stop index, just give -1. So at the moment it's -1, that means it starts going backwards. If I give -2, then it will go to G, skip N. So whenever I give -1 and I don't specify start and stop indexes, that means it's going to start from the end of the string. So it'll start G and then it will skip N and print I, skip Z and print A, skip M and print A.
Before we start string operators, we need to discuss about an important property of strings. That is, strings are immutable. So if I have a string, say cat, and now I want to change this to rat. So can I do this? No, I can't. This is because I am trying to modify the 0th index character in the variable myString, and like I said, strings are immutable. That means they cannot be modified, so we cannot do this. But there is another option. The other option is I can assign this myString equal to rat. So this is another option and this works. Now let's get started with the string operators. We have two string operators, plus, or it's called as concatenation, and this is replication. For numbers, we'll use the terms plus and multiplication, but for strings, we'll use the term concatenation and replication. Let us look at concatenation. Concatenation is used to join strings. If I have the string T and I have another string pot and I want to join these two, I just have to put a plus between T and pot and I'll get the result teapot. Replication operator is used to replicate a string x number of times. If I have the string K and I want to repeat this 5 times, all I have to do is put the replication symbol between this and I'll get the result K, K, K. This is especially useful when I want to repeat a string large number of times, like 1000 times, 10,000 times, etc.
Let us try a few examples of concatenation and replication operator. If I have my str which is equal to fruit, and then I have str2 which is equal to 6, and then if I want to concatenate these two, I just have to write the string variable names and put a plus sign between them, and then I will get fruit 6. Let us try replication. So how will I do that? I will do my str multiplication symbol and then 7. So now you can see that 6 is repeated 7 times.
Let us look at functions in string. So we know what a function is. Like when you have f of x equal to y, you're taking an input x and then you're giving the output y. So similarly here the input would be your string or some other arguments as well, and then you'll give the output. So the syntax for using functions in a string is, first you write the string variable name and then put dot, write the function name and then open bracket, close bracket. Now it depends, if you have arguments for your function, then you will have to put it between your brackets, otherwise you don't have to. But right now you can just think of argument as certain functions require more than just x. Like for example, there are some functions that just have f of x. There are some functions that take f of x and y, right? So they are taking more than one input. Similarly, like arguments, you have to specify argument when you need more than one input. Okay. So here string named of capitalized is just taking one input, the string name. There is no argument that is specified between the brackets. and the result that you get would be your string but with the first character capitalized. The second function we'll look at is .find. This function is used to search for a string inside your string. If you have a string and you want to search for another string, you want to see if another substring is present in this string, then you will use the function find. It will return the lowest index at which it could find this particular substring. So the arguments you will give in this function are, you will provide the substring, then you will provide the start and end indices. So start and end indices are for Python to decide from where I should start searching in the string in order to find this particular substring. If you do not have this substring present in your string, then you will get the answer -1. If you have, then you will get the lowest index at which you could find your substring. Now string name.isUpper. This is a function to check if all my characters are uppercase. Okay, so only if all my characters are uppercase in my string, it will return true. Otherwise it will return false. Now what if I have a string with only digits? Then you will get false. But what if I have a string with one uppercase character, that is one uppercase alphabet, and maybe say 3 digits along with that? Now here it will return true because the criteria is that the string has to have at least one alphabet present. Okay, so if you just give a string with only digits, it's going to return false. Also we need to remember, if you have a string with many alphabets, all of the alphabets have to be uppercase in order for isUpper to return true. The next function we look at is string name.upper. String name.upper will convert your string characters to uppercase. Then the same way you have something called string name.lower. It exactly does the opposite, just converts your string characters to lowercase. Now string name.isDigit. This is similar to isUpper. So for isUpper you have an option of isLower, which checks if all your string characters are lowercase. Similarly, isDigit will check if all your characters are digits. So if all your characters are digits, you get true, otherwise you will get false. We'll look at a few examples.
So let me say my string is fruit, and now I want to try the capitalize function. So what does the capitalize function return? It returns the string but with the first character capitalized. So here you see that F is capitalized. Now let me try doing isLower. So isLower will tell me if all the strings are lowercase or not. So in this case it should return true. Let us see. Yeah, it returns true. If you had a string which had an uppercase, then it will return false. Okay, let me see. If I have a string that only consists of digits, what does my isLower give? False. Because you at least need one character, one alphabet to be there. Now if I have a string that has a combination of alphabets and characters, so 0A, okay, now this will return true. You should have at least one alphabet. If that one alphabet also is lowercase, then your isLower will return true. Okay, now we can try my str.upper. So here you see 0 and A. So A is capitalized now. Okay. Then let me have another string name. Okay. Now I want to use the function .find. So, and I want to find the substring high from the index 0 to -1. Okay. So it returns the lowest index where I can find high, which is 0. Yeah, because h starts from 0. String name dot find high 3 to -1. It returns -1. This is because it's saying that from the indices 3 to -1, it was not able to find this substring high. Now notice you have two highs inside this string. Now if I ask to find high here, it gives me 0. It does not look at the high towards the end. So that's all for the session. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.